Hey you guys, I am so glad you're here. Our video this week is so different. I'm away for work this week and I have so much Christmas content that I want to share with you that I thought I would just keep the momentum going, and while I had some free time this week, I would do a video. So I brought with me books because I love doing DIYs with books. These are a couple that I had kicking around and I brought very few supplies with me. Stay tuned. We're going to do a whole bunch of DIYs using old books. For our first DIY, I am using this book. These are both books I actually picked up at the dollar store. I've taken off the covers, the spines. This one had some pictures in it, so I pulled that out as well. And it's just so easy. It's going to knock your socks off. We are going to do 3 pages at a time, fold it down, press it nicely there. Okay. Then we're going to fold it again. Are you still with me? And almost all the way in, like really, really close, but just not quite. Like, I think I'm leaving about 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so just take a peek there. Just a tiny bit. Then take the bottom part, score it, and then we're gonna tuck it underneath. And that's it. And we're gonna repeat that all the way through this book. Fold it over, take 3 pages, 2, 3, fold it down, fold it again. It's almost like making a paper airplane. So just put your kid on, put some Christmas tunes or a great Christmas movie on TV, and then just work your way through this. I'm just going to keep going, and don't worry if it starts to unfold. We're going to deal with that at the end, okay? The important part is to just make sure that that fold is really, really good. Fold and fold it again. So Izzy and I were just talking about this the other day, and I am curious, what is the first Christmas or holiday movie you watch of the season? We went back and forth and back and forth. So head down to the comments and tell me what you guys watch for the holidays. What is your introductory Christmas movie? And curious, when do you watch it? Do you wait until after Thanksgiving if you're in the States? Is it a November 1st thing for you, no matter where you are? We decided that it was Miracle on 34th Street for us. It's always been my favorite movie to start the holidays with. I watch the old one first, and then I watch the one from the 90s. I love that version. Little tiny, oh gosh, I forget her name, the one who's in Matilda. She's just so cute. So you can kind of see what we have going on here. Have you figured out what we're making yet? Okay, I'm gonna work my way through this. I'm gonna listen to some Christmas tunes and you guys can just follow along. And I can't wait to see you make your own. Okay, quick midpoint check. My fingers are hurting just a little bit, but I might be pressing harder than I need to. But look at that. Now, you could have done this with 2 pages. I don't know if it would work with 1 page. Maybe we'll mess around and try that out. But I love how kind of chunky these ribs of the Christmas tree look. So I'm going to keep going, and I just wanted to show you how it just naturally starts to curve at the top here. So that's why as we finish the book, it's just going to make one full 360-degree Christmas tree. I'm going to keep going now. All right, update number 2. I'm getting a little skewed up here. Can you see what's happening? It's not as tight over here. So I'm going to make the executive decision to take my book apart here. Now, I'm either going to continue on with these pages or we're going to end it here. So I'm going to tear it off. Hold your breath. And if it looks good, we'll be done. And if it doesn't, we'll continue on with these pages and just stick them together. But I can't handle how wonky it's getting. So, just going to figure out how to do this without the whole thing coming apart. I don't want to take the book apart. Okay, give me a sec. Okay, here's what I figured out. I took about half of what was left and I'm just gently pulling that out. It was just too hard to try to pull the entire thing apart. And now I'm actually going to take half of that. Maybe it wasn't quite half. Oh, no, maybe I can. Yeah, looks like we can't. All right, so this book was, actually, I'll tell you exactly how many pages this book was. And I'm thinking we probably just needed a smaller book. All right, so let me just fix these pages where it kind of came undone. I think we're done. You guys, this is so pretty. I love making things with old books, and this makes my heart happy. So yeah, you know what? As it kind of relaxes and does its thing here, and I just kind of mess around with it, it's absolutely perfect. Alrighty, my friends, apologies for the absolutely atrocious hotel lighting that I am using for filming here. We're going to do a really super quick, cheap and easy DIY. It basically needs a book page, a little bit of twine, my glue stick, and I'm actually going to use one of these really pretty Christmas transfers that have been in my stash for, if I said 3 years, would that surprise you? Well, we're finally going to get to use one, and I'm really excited. So let's get started on this. It is beyond simple. We're actually going to start by putting the transfer on the book page before we make this into a gift card holder. So I'm going to grab my stick and we're going to put that on. And I think we're going to use, I'm pretty sure we're going to use this poinsettia one. It fits perfectly in this small space that we have. We're actually going to use this in a vertical orientation. Covers up lots of the pages, lots of the text. Oh my goodness, I must be getting tired. So we're going to go ahead and apply that, and then we are going to turn this into a really pretty, really quick DIY. I am going to center this, and I do want to see a little bit of the text at the top and the bottom, but I want to leave this white area at the top completely untouched. I don't know if you noticed here, but I also left where I tore the page out, I left that rough edge because I think it looks really pretty up at the top. So let's get this done. And just like that. And it looks really pretty. I am going to take my carrier sheet and just give it a little burnish just to make sure that that is well and truly stuck down. This is where it gets really easy. We're going to flip this over and we're going to put our pages together and just have them overlap a tiny bit. And that's where we're going to actually glue the surface. So 1, 2, want to make sure that I've got that centered in the middle there. A little bit of glue on the end. You can use whatever you want. Double-sided tape would work really well for this too, and would keep it really clean and simple. Once you've done that, you're going to fold up the bottom, and this will determine how deep the bag is. Just put a crease in it there. It makes it so much easier to work with. And then you're going to open it up and take the point from the point and just fold it there. It's probably easier to, I was going to say it's probably easier to see what I'm doing, but those shadows are really something, aren't they? I'm doing my best here, you guys. Okay, so once you've done that, trying to figure out a way to do this so you can actually see. So you're going to fold that over. I did it a little over halfway again, just so that I had a surface to glue to. Then you're going to fold this one back up. I really hope you could see this. Okay, take your glue stick, just put a line on there or whatever it is you're using for adhesive and fold up the bottom. You now have the shape of a super simple, I'm just going to use my stick here to pop it open. You have a super simple bag. All right, now all I'm going to do is take my hole punch, put one hole, I'm about an inch in from the side, do the same down here, and then we're going to use our twine to put this together. I've got a little snack here that I'm going to pop in. Then you can take your gift card. And then all we're going to do is use our twine. I just made up a new word. And tie it up. It's absolutely stunning here. I can't imagine ever getting bored with these views. Absolutely gorgeous. So for this DIY, I have this battery operated candle. I actually picked these up on Amazon. Get this, 12 of them for $16 and change. And that's Canadian, meaning they're even less expensive than the ones at the dollar store. And they come in 4 different sizes. So I absolutely adore these. So for this one, I'm using another one of my transfers. I think this one's going to look really pretty on the candle. But first, we're going to wrap it in a book page. So I think what I'm going to do, just to make it look a little bit more something, I'm going to fold this. I just think it'll look a little bit more substantial. Now, just like we did on the other one, we're going to go ahead and put the transfer on before we attach this. I just want to make sure that I've got this the right size and it's going to work. So doing a dry fit is never a bad idea. I'm happy with that. Are you happy with that? I'm happy with that. Okay, so that's where that has to go. Line that is. Okay, hold on, there's text on here. It would be a really good idea if I got it the right way, wouldn't it? Oh my goodness. All right, so center that. I don't have my glasses on, you guys. Is that centered? It looks fairly centered from where I'm sitting. There we go. All right, we're gonna get this attached. And I think I'm gonna use the glue stick again. Again, I wanna be able to slip this off and use this candle just by itself, or perhaps even just for another season. I could actually do this in such a way that I could have all kinds of these collars for different times of the year. We're gonna have to trim that. And just change them out as we needed them. All right. Let's put that on the middle here. I didn't center that very well, did I? All right, so plan B, we're going to make sure that the finished end is underneath the cut end. I'm going to take a little bit of the twine and wrap this around. I also brought some pip berries with me from the dollar store, so either one of those would work and be a beautiful accent. I'm actually going to take the twine and do it at the top and the bottom. So first we'll just wrap that around the top and tie it off at the back. You could feel free to put a small dab of hot glue on this just to make sure that it was going to stay in place. And we're going to do the same thing at the bottom of the little collar here. And I'm just tying this off at the back. Nothing crazy, nothing special. I think that looks really pretty. Not sure that I've ever done a DIY quite that easy. For this DIY, I grabbed leftover book pages. I have 2 colors of twine, some Dollar Tree beads, and my scissors and a glue gun. This one is like, it reminds me of a childhood craft, and for the life of me, I cannot remember what craft that was. So this is so easy. I almost feel like we can do this like in one fell swoop. So I'm tearing off 2 pages. So what we're gonna do, we are just going to cut. I'm actually going to take off the ends here. Okay, and then I'm going to do really thin strips just to the edge of the text. So these are probably about 1/4 of an inch, but there's no science to this. Cut them larger if it suits you. Cut them even smaller if it suits you. But we're going to go all the way down to the end, and then we're going to be halfway finished this DIY. Okay, I've cut myself a short length of twine, probably about 8 inches. I'm going to put a tiny dab of glue right here at the edge of my pages, and I'm going to attach that right in there. Then all we're going to do is roll this up and as tightly as possible. So the beginning is going to be the most important part, because as soon as we've got that going, we're going to be good to go. I'm actually going to put, and I mean tiny, bit of glue in there. It's barely anything. It just helps it as I'm getting it started, and this way it won't unravel on me. Make sure you're keeping the top level. I don't know if you can see that. Make sure you keep that level. You don't want that to get all wonky, and go all the way down to the end. Okay, as we're getting to the end, I'm just going to put a little dab of glue there. Okay, and that part is done. Did you guess tassel? Because if you guessed a tassel, then you were absolutely right. Now, I think these would look fantastic on a gift, especially one wrapped in craft paper. It would look so pretty, but we're not finished yet. Hang on a second. All right, I had intended to add a bead or two to the top of this, but because I don't have any tools here, I have nothing to help me get the twine through this tiny little hole. So I might have to put my head to that, or I might have to head out to the dollar store and find another way to do it. In the meantime, we're going to wrap the top of this tassel just like we would any other tassel. So we're going to kind of start right down here, right where that tassel fringe ends. And, okay, and then we're just going to wrap it around. Overlap that. And then it's going to be nice and quick. No reason to add any glue. Just pull it tight as you go. There we go. Now that we're almost up at the top, I am going to add just a tiny bit of glue just to help it stay in place and not kind of roll off the top. but tiny, tiny, tiny. Okay, we're going to trim that off. And then one more tiny drop of glue just to kind of finish that end off. And there you go. A really pretty book tassel that would look great on a gift, on a tree, you name it. You can do all kinds of stuff with this. I did manage to make another one with the beads. All I did was put a little bit of glue on the end of my twine so I could feed it through a little easier. I absolutely adore these. For this DIY, I have more book pages and more transfers, and we're just going to pop them into some frames and make some really easy and very inexpensive holiday decor. So for this one, this is a Dollar Tree frame. I already put my book page in it, and I'm going to use a combination of 2 transfers because I want to cover up as much as possible. And I just loved this little saying at the bottom, "Merry Christmas, time to you. Happy days and blessings true, golden joys and fortune bright, and a heart that's ever light." I just thought that was really nice. So I'm going to put those 2 together in this frame. And actually, the way I'm doing this one is I have put the book page in there, and I'm going to do this on top of the glass. Now, I am aware that Dollar Tree glass breaks very easily. So as I'm having this conversation with you, I'm thinking, I got to take that glass back out and work directly on my work surface here. And then for this one, and isn't this pretty? It's a little thrifted frame. I actually broke the glass in it, but I think we're going to be fine because I'll put my book page in there. We'll do the transfer right on top, and it's going to look so pretty. And don't you think that this frame and this transfer are absolutely perfect together? Now this one is going to extend just a tiny bit off of the book page, and I think that's okay because it's really going to fill the frame, and that's what I'm going for. I just want to make sure that this is completely straight because wouldn't that look silly if it wasn't? All right, and then you guys have seen how easily these work. They are so much fun. I highly encourage you to find some transfers and give it a go. Oh, we got one little spot that didn't transfer. And that's the beauty. When you peel it up, you just have to look and see. And if there's something left on your carrier page, you just go back and make a transfer. Whoops. And there we go. I'm just going to take those little extra bits and fold them around the edge. I think that looks so pretty. So let's pop that into our frame. You know what? I think I'm going to put a tiny bit of glue on the back of it and just stick it right in the frame here, just so it doesn't fall out, seeing as that there's no glass. Oh, and by the way, it had glass when I arrived. I may have been pressing a little too hard when I was taking this apart. Okay, so I already said what I want to do is put the Christmas tree in the center here and then put this right underneath it. So I think that's a good spot for it. I'm having a little giggle here because it looks like I'm putting the transfer right down on top of the desk. All right. There we go. Oh my goodness, that is so pretty. Just curious if you guys are using transfers. Have you tried transfers? Tell me down in the comments if you have and what kind you're using. I know Redesign by Prima makes some good ones too. I haven't tried those. So let me know if you have, because I am rapidly falling in love with how easy you can transform just about anything with a transfer. Beautiful. All right. I've already put my book page right on the backing of the frame. Let's put the glass in there. Oh my gosh, that is gorgeous. All right, let me get this styled up so you can see how it looks. Absolutely beautiful Christmas home decor with some old books from the dollar store, some twine, some transfers, and a few simple supplies. I am absolutely in love with these. You'll have to let me know if you try any of these on your own down in the comments. And don't forget to let me know which one is your favorite. Time for me to head home after an amazing week on Vancouver Island, and that's a wrap on today's video. I'm so glad you stopped by, and I hope you enjoyed every single one of these DIYs. Be sure to subscribe, that way you'll never miss when we upload a video. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next one.